We have more work to do, but this should give us a good path forward in reopening our state.
A major update tonight on reopening Washington state. On the same day, the CDC relaxes indoor mask guidelines, and Governor Inslee following suit.
This is really our next best step forward for these young people and us older people to get back to life the way it was before.
And there was hope for life to return to normal on the other side of the COVID-19 pandemic.
We're so thrilled. It's just beyond belief how excited we are.
Local leaders are relieved.
Well, we've always been looking for that light at the end of the tunnel, but the light is getting close.
And as health officials track the vaccine rollout across the state, here locally, weddings, funerals, and other major gatherings could be back to normal by early summer or even sooner.
This is a ticket to freedom. That shot is a ticket to freedom from masks.
Announcements today regarding COVID restrictions. The governor announcing today the state will set to fully reopen on June 30th, and Washingtonians who are fully vaccinated, they do not against COVID-19 will no longer be required to wear face masks in most indoor and outdoor settings. This is effective immediately. Good evening and thank you for joining us for Crampton News at 6. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Welcome everyone. I'm Whitney Ward. So today Governor Inslee announced that he does support the changes the CDC is making in mask guidelines. He's also now working with the Washington Department of Health and Labor and Industries to provide updated guidance for businesses as soon as possible. Remember, you are considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after receiving the second dose of either Pfizer or Moderna, or 2 weeks after that one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And today, with the CDC announcement, President Joe Biden urged more Americans to get vaccinated.
I think it's a great milestone, a great day. It's been made possible by the extraordinary success we've had in vaccinating so many Americans. Get vaccinated or wear a mask until you do.
The CDC says fully vaccinated Americans are still going to have to wear a mask when traveling and in certain very crowded indoor areas, as well as wearing masks according to state, local, and individual business requirements.
So who is and who isn't safe according to what the CDC is requiring for indoor gatherings? Well, if you look on the right side of your screen, the graph shows people who are fully vaccinated are safest to go to any of these indoor activities without a mask. On the right side, you can see that if you are unvaccinated, then it is less safe to attend any of these indoor activities, and those include any indoor movie theater or a small gathering for multiple households. And just a reminder, fully vaccinated, as Whitney just mentioned, mean that you have your second shot at least 2 weeks later after that second shot. And today, Governor Inslee also announced there's finally a light at the end of the tunnel. He appeared today without a face covering for the first time in months to announce a full reopening of the state by early summer.
So we want to get right to our political reporter, Casey Decker, tonight, who has been tracking all of these announcements today. He's joining us now with the exact details of what it means for you. Casey.
Well, Whitney, Mark, for most of this pandemic, it feels like one of the hardest things to deal with has really just been that uncertainty, never really knowing when all this is going to end and when we can get back to normal life. Well, tonight, we finally know when, June 30th. At least that's the target that Governor Inslee announced today. So let's get into exactly what he meant by that. He says we are on track for a full reopening of the economy by June 30th. And that means pretty much just what it sounds like. Nearly all restrictions on business and crowds lifted, going back to basically life as normal. Inslee says only a handful of restrictions in very specific settings will remain, such as hospitals and public transit. But to be clear here, June 30th is not technically a hard date. It could be earlier or later, depending on a couple of metrics. One, it could be earlier if we hit a vaccination rate of 70%. That means 70% or more people ages 16 and up with at least one dose. Right now, our number is 57%, so some work to do there. Two, it could be later or not at all if at any point our statewide ICU occupancy exceeds 90%. If at any point we hit that metric, restrictions will be re-implemented. Our current number there, 82%. So it's a little bit close for comfort, though the governor today is saying that that number is actually going down now. He also says that this is all possible for two reasons. One, that fourth wave of coronavirus that started plateauing a couple weeks back, well, he says that's now turned into an outright decline, so we're getting our numbers back under control. And two, of course, the vaccine.
We're very pleased in the last couple of weeks to see this progress and reduction of the disease proclivity. So our case rates and our hospitalization rates are both coming down. There is universal access to the vaccine now. This is life-saving. It's free. What's not to like? And now we're moving to the full-throated dedication to protecting our citizens using that mechanism rather than restricting long-term our freedom of economic performance and other things we enjoy in life.
So of course, having that June 30th date is great, but what happens in the meantime? Well, the governor says starting next Tuesday, the whole state will be placed into and remain in phase 3. Now that means most businesses will be open at 50% capacity, and it will actually be a modified phase 3 with some exceptions to allow larger groups of fully vaccinated people. This of course means Spokane County no longer has to worry about being bounced back to phase 2, and it means Whitman County will be allowed back into phase 3. So some very, very good news tonight coming out of Olympia. Of course, we do still need to be diligent to avoid that 90% ICU occupancy contingency. Best way to do that, go get vaccinated. In the newsroom tonight, Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
All right, Casey, thank you very much. Governor Jay Inslee also talking about that goal to get to the state reopening sooner than June 30th. If 70% of Washington residents 16 and older at least start their vaccination process, then we could fully reopen even before that benchmark.
So the state has some work to do if it wants to reach Inslee's goal before the end of June. KREM 2's Ian Smade live in the newsroom tonight with more on how Washington is doing when it comes to COVID-19 vaccines. Ian?
Good evening, guys. Governor Inslee outlined the state's work when it comes to getting the general population vaccinated during that press conference earlier today. And as you said, that goal is 70% of the eligible population getting at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. As you can see in this graph here, Spokane County is sitting at 46.45% of its population starting the vaccination process. But the important number is that statewide rate, which sits at 57.43% according to the state health department's latest data. That's a little less than 13% below the mark needed to reopen the state early. And according to Inslee, it isn't just Spokane County lagging a little bit behind.
Now, we have some disparate county performance as far as vaccinations. I'll put up a graph here if we have it to show we have significant deviation in vaccination rates from county to county. We have a lot of progress we can make in many, many places.
I'll show you that graph Inslee was referring to right now. Ferry County is currently sitting at just a little more than 29% of its population starting the vaccination process. Lincoln County is a bit closer to Spokane County at 40.5%. Again, the governor said the goal is to have 70% of those aged 16 and older receive at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine before June 30th. Another thing the governor showed us today during that press conference was that the western Washington county of San Juan has actually already surpassed the 70% mark. According to what he told us, though, that doesn't mean they'll be able to reopen any earlier than the rest of the state, but it does show that it is possible to reach his metric. Whitney, Mark?
All right, Ian, thank you very much tonight. And according to the governor's new guidance today, as long as all guests are vaccinated, live performances, weddings, and funerals can all be held at full capacity.
It's a big deal, and that's certainly welcome news at Arbor Crest Winery, where wedding season and their summer concert series mean big business. Amanda Rowley joining us there live from Arbor Crest tonight. Amanda, what's the reaction out there tonight?
Well, this is huge news for many wedding venues. And in fact, Arbor Crest is not only benefiting from that expanded capacity for weddings, but also, check it out, their summer outdoor concert series, which is underway tonight. This is their third Thursday concert. A lot of folks out here are spread out, enjoying wine and enjoying some wonderful music. Now, earlier, the owners told me they are so excited that weddings can have full capacity with people who are fully vaccinated. Now, even better, they are looking forward to fully reopening after June 30th, just in time for the rest of the wedding season.
It's going to be great because the brides, they don't have to worry about who not to invite. They can have as many people as they need to now.
We've been restricted to groups of 30, and that just was not what bridal parties wanted to have. So now to be able to go back to more of a normal gathering where the families can come together, they can invite their friends, and we get into the larger group gathering sizes, that's going to be a huge benefit.
Now, the last time Arbor Crest held a full capacity summer wedding was 2 years ago. And now, while full capacity is allowed for all guests who are vaccinated at these weddings, phase 3 capacity restrictions still apply for those who are not vaccinated. Now, I had a chance to talk to a few folks out here at the Outdoor Summer Concert Series this evening, and many of them are ecstatic about the news that Washington is moving closer to fully reopening. Some people told me they're just looking forward to getting out and dancing again. Others are excited to see family and friends. Reporting tonight from Arbor Crest, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, thank you very, very much. I know so many people are excited to do all of those things. Tom Sherry's also very excited to see, go see people dancing, concerts, that's his jam.
He likes weddings, he likes wine, he likes music, he likes weather, right?
Yes. I do. I like that all. And I like seeing people's faces, and I just think this is just a fabulous, fabulous day. It started off as an ordinary day, then we got the news from the governor and from the CDC, and it's just, wow, celebratory is the mood, as I would say. Look at this. Let's go with this weather. My gosh, what an absolutely beautiful evening we are enjoying, folks. We've got warm weather in the forecast through Monday. Temperatures in the 70s again tomorrow, but by the time we get to the weekend, should climb up into the 80s. We're at 73 right now as you take a look at that beautiful Lake Coeur d'Alene. Keep in mind, though, even though we get to 80 degrees, the water that you're seeing in the Spokane River, which is moving too quickly to get into, or the water in any of the lakes like Lake Coeur d'Alene, that was just snow melt a couple of days ago. So really, the water's too cold to get into right now. So keep that in mind. You take a look at the radar, and as we show you there with the satellite and radar, we're not showing you any real cloud cover across the area. We'll look for partly cloudy skies overnight with a low of 48. 79 the expected on your Friday when it gets up close to 80 degrees. We will see 81 degrees on Saturday and 84 expected on Sunday. I'll check the rest of your 10-day forecast in just a few minutes.
That looks pretty good, Tom. Thank you very much. And